The alliance that interests me most was an alliance with the African American women in Nashville and to some extent throughout the state. And this is an extraordinary story. The black women offered their votes, and they were very clear that there were things they wanted those votes to buy. And they made it explicit when they talked to the white women in their suffragist meetings, and they did, and that's another interesting thing. We have occasions in which black and white women were talking to each other immediately, not from a distance. And in those meetings they made clear what it was they wanted. And there were a number of things, but specifically they wanted the vocational school for girls. The agenda of the black women made sense to the white women. There was nothing there that they couldn't go along with. At the same time, it was probably politically difficult to get a new institution that would have to be paid for by the state. And in fact, they did it. Ultimately, 2,500 African American women registered to vote in that very first election in Nashville in 1919. In 1921, the state legislature, in fact, does create and provide the funds for a vocational school whose president will be Frankie Pierce. And I find this just very satisfying. Kenny was tremendously proud of what had been achieved. This was not under the carpet. This was not a secret. She wrote Carrie Catt. She wrote the national president of the suffrage organization and said, "Don't you want us to tell this story at the convention?" Catt was very cautious. She more or less patted her on the head and said, "Wonderful, wonderful," but let it drop.